It's game 2 of the first round of this play-in tournament, and we've got Tennessee down to their last breath as Houston took game 1. The Thunderwolves will be eliminated by Houston for the second consecutive season if they lose this game. The Iron Ninjas can advance with a win to the next round. And Gravitations is off on his first run. He's through the first obstacle, onto emergency landing. Every point counts in an elimination game, and he almost misses the dismount. Now on to full tilt, and oh, careful as Gravitations nearly goes down there. Getting some lucky breaks early on, and that is it for Gravitations. Can't land that first drop on throwback, and a rough start for Tennessee. So Jacozy first up for Houston. We're going to get them started off strong again. He's been very good for him in the first game of this series. And got an opportunity to get a big early lead with a rough start from Gravitations. Only got 3 points for Tennessee, and he nearly overshot the mount to full tilt, but he avoids the slip up and gets through. If he can beat this obstacle, they will take the lead. The game's currently tied at 3. Gotta get this second drop here. And he does it well and gets the dismount. So Houston takes a 4-3 lead in this first heat. Jacozy his way around that pole. And he lands the second one, and he's got the dismount. Onto the warped wall. And he gets up it on one go. So 6 points for Houston now in this first heat. A great start for the Iron Ninjas, with an opportunity to win the series and advance to the next round. And Jacozy is delivering in this first run for Houston. And he's still going, just flying through the spiraling ascent. He is right through it. And now we're gonna get our first look at the slap box, new obstacle this week in the play-in. And he's trying to figure out how it works. And he's through the first one. The second box, and he falls short, but gets Houston 8 points in this first heat. A lot of room now for Bluefill to make up here. As we begin heat 2, Tennessee down 5 coming into this heat. Not a good first run for Gravitations, and now Bluefill got to climb back up and get them back into this game. They cannot afford an early slip up here. And oh, he almost goes down on full tilt. Barely able to stay up, but he does. On throwback. Oh my goodness, Bluefill cutting it close. And he's still barely able to save it. A wild run on these first couple obstacles. Bluefill's finding nearly every way to nearly fail. But he has no trouble with the timber toss and onto the warped wall. He's up it and gets Tennessee the lead right back. 9-8 on Devil's Ladder. And one more rung, he's through it, and he got it. Tennessee got a 2-point lead now on the spiraling ascent. It's been made slightly tougher for these play-ins, and Bluefill cannot land the transfer. DJ Dilly has an opportunity to possibly be the hero for Houston. They're down 2, but he can get him a huge lead headed in to the third heat, where they've got their reliable player, Jai Byrne, standing by with an opportunity to win the series for him. DJ can tie it if he lands this here. He does, and it is tied at 10. DJ on full tilt. He's through it easily. No troubles. Now for throwback. This obstacle could pose a challenge for him, but he lands that first one and gets the second. One more drop here, and DJ lands it. He is through. On to timber toss, and DJ makes a mistake, but he gets him 4 points and a 2-point cushion into heat 3. Now all the pressure onto Opson Fly. He's got to make it at least to the full tilt, or else Tennessee's season is over. And he's through the first obstacle. Gotta get through emergency landing here. Cannot afford to fail this obstacle. He lands it, and he got the dismount, and he ties the game at 12. But you can't feel comfortable if the game's tied. And he gets him one more point. 13-12 for Tennessee. Opson gets to that second set of handles, and he gets down, and he's through throwback. They've got a 2-point lead now, and he can build that lead here. With every obstacle he gets through, they've got a better chance of winning this series. And he is through timber toss, and that is huge for them. That forces Houston to get through. Now the throwback. And making his way up Devil's Ladder. And he's just continuing to add to their totals. Got a 5-point lead now and forces Houston to get at least to the warped wall to tie the game. Would be huge if he could get through this. And he lands that second one, making his way up. Jump to the third, and he comes up short. But he nets him 7 points in a huge performance from Opson Fly. Keeps his team's hopes alive. Headed into this final attempt. And Jyburn, he has to make it to the warped wall to tie it. If he can get up and get to the back half, Houston will be headed to the next round and Tennessee will be eliminated. Jyburn had a great performance in their first game of this series. Can he clutch up for him again? They're down 5. Gotta get to the warped wall, or else Tennessee will live to see another day. Jyburn, he lands the dismount. And on to emergency landing, and he lands it. So they've got 2 points so far. Jyburn onto full tilt. Gotta be careful, but he has no trouble. 2 obstacles to go to tie the game. And he lands that first drop on throwback. Now for the second. And he does it smoothly. And he's 1 obstacle away from tying this game up. He lands that first transfer. Now 1 more. And he's got the timing down, and he's tied the game. If he can get up the warped wall, Houston wins the series, and he does! Jyburn wins it for Houston in Game 2, and they sweep Tennessee, and for the second consecutive season, the Thunderwolves have been eliminated by the Iron Ninjas. And now, Jyburn going for style points. Can he be the second to get through this obstacle? He lands that second section, making his way up. He got the third, and Jyburn adds to his totals. He's been excellent in these 2 games for Houston, and he comes up short on the slap box, but a fantastic performance by Jyburn. Wins the game and wins the series for Houston.